Okay, we're quasi-live. I am alive. I've got a backing track. I'm going to hit that. Yeah, look at this. My captive audience. Well, he's got a dual role today. He's part audience, and also he's on bird patrol. That's Bud, man. He's into multitasking. He can lick himself and watch for birds at the same time. Yep. Ain't that right, Bud? Yep. You heard him. Okay, this is one, back in the old days, they called it Salt River. Salt River. Not Salt Creek, but Salt River. I guess rivers become creeks. Wow. This is one more powerful set of mics. I've got stereo microphones now with this camera. I mean, this camera is, it's called the Zoom Q2n 4K. Wow. It's not going to sound as good when the music comes up. I still have a something of a learning curve to go through to find out. See, well, thank you. I play this thing and record it on a looper pedal. If you don't know what that is, it's like a guitar pedal, which when you press it, it starts to record, and when you press it again, it stops. And then it automatically starts going in a circle. So when you're playing rhythm, when you get to the end of the song, you click the pedal and the pedal starts over again. It hits the beat that you were going to hit. And you can hit it if you want to. But I normally stop and let the looper pedal do all the striking, because if you strike the instrument at the same time as you depress the looper pedal, some bad things can happen. We just won't go there. Right now we got a three-quarter inch bridge on this puppy. That's 3/4 of an inch from the white to the very top. 3/4 of an inch. And in terms of banjo players, you've asked any banjo player, they're going to say he's going for the big boy sound. Let's see. Instead of going looper pedal to the looper pedal right this moment, I'm going to take you back in time. I'm going back with you. You're going to need a guide. But my earliest days playing banjo, I wanted to be a Earl Scruggs type banjo player. I had heard Foggy Mountain Breakdown, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew it then. It was like I knew in 1965 I wanted to play electric guitar. But, you know, a few years and I changed my mind. And once I had refurbished a wall hanger, repurposed it as an instrument to learn on, I had to put this, a set of strings, and one of these on that banjo in order to learn how to tune it. And I used a book, it was copyrighted in 1945, to tune it. And I tuned the banjo when you strummed it. That was A chord. In other words, a guitar player would have to put a capo on and play G. The way it's tuned now is in G. That's G chord. But 100 years ago, it would have been A. So when you listen to a lot of the old time music, as I have listened to down through my time, you can hear that A sound in there. But I wanted to play three finger, and then my dad saw that I had this old man who played clawhammer banjo put his arm around my neck and let me make chords, and I saw his lick. 2 weeks later, on a stage at a festival, a competition, we'll call it a fiddler's convention, that's what it was, in my hometown, I got second place. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You talking about Cain being raised. Those old codgers, they just knew they had it in the bag, and here's a little kid, and I don't, unless you're 110 years old, and I guess if you was 170 years old, still getting your Social Security, and could make out Donald Trump out to be a liar, you'd been something special on the stage that night. But oh man, oh Lord mercy. Dad seen I could play clawhammer, so he asked me if I'd like to have if I wanted a banjo, and he told me the deal he'd make me. Well, that was, he'd borrow the money. There goes the bird hunter. I don't know whether you've seen him go out at the frame or not, but he's in hot pursuit. Anyway, Dad and I went on a hunt for banjos, and I looked at numerous banjos, but I only saw one where was a real curiosity to me. It was a 1926 RB11 Gibson, the Gibson banjo. This is a 1966. This is built 40 years after the one I had as a child. This instrument was given to me. Why I do not understand to this day, except for the fact that I have never been known to keep a banjo any longer than about 3 or 4 years, and I'd sell it and quit. But Dad saw I had it in me to play clawhammer, and he was a musician, and he had a band, and he had a dream. And you know, when you have 3 members of your family in a band, and he pulled my sister into it after I taught her how to play the bass. He pulled her into it. So here's 3 members of a 5-piece band out of one family. So, you know, hope somebody don't get the flu in their house if you got a paying gig. One thing about that is I did get paid the most I was ever paid for a period of time. 1971, and it was around this time of year, 1971. There, back when we were a industrial economy, you had towel manufacturers in this country, and your best bedroom and bath towel that there ever was made in the United States came from Fieldcrest Mills in Fieldale, Virginia. That was founded by Marshall Field out of Chicago. Fieldale, Virginia was named after Mr. Field. But They had a big meeting. All the big wigs came down, and they had a big dinner. And Daddy and us provided the entertainment. And I really believe the only reason they had us in there is we had vests made out of Fieldcrest towels. Beautiful vest. The pattern was immaculate. If you want to see a picture of it, you can go look at Time Life because the same vest appears in our appearance in the Time Life video, Bluegrass Country Soul. You could probably pick it up at Walmart. I don't know, not anymore. The re-release of that was 20 years ago, and then they did a video re-release back in 2021, marking the 50th anniversary of the recording of Bluegrass Country Soul. But we were the Bull Mountain Boys. I guess as far as the boys are concerned, I'm the only living Bull Mountain boy left. But Daddy, this is the first one that I learned. I clipped a little bit there, but sorry about that. But is again, if you're just joining us, I am in the learning mode. We have here today a stereo camera, so if you are listening to us on headphones, earbuds, or on your TV set or your stereo sound system, I don't do surround sound, but I do stereo. But you'll be able to tell the banjo is on one side of your TV or your headphones, more predominantly so than it is the other. And I chose to set a little bit off to the side in order to give you the feedback off of both mics. And the reflective sound that's coming back from surfaces within the room would come into both microphones. It's going to come in like it normally would, but me being off center, you're going to be able to hear them more predominantly on the left than you will the right hand side. So that's what's going on. But that was John Hardy. He was a desperate little man. At least that's what they say. I heard he was about 6'6", weighed 285 pounds. Doggone drive more steel in the ground through hard rock than most men can drive in the sand. Yeah, if you want something to do, take up about 15 minutes of your time, go listen to Johnny Cash do the Ballad of John Henry. I mean, Johnny, he gives you a full biography of John Henry. Johnny Cash does a full biography, of John Henry. I expect it is probably the longest song in country music. It's like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. iron butterfly and Inagata Davida, it's about like Inagata Davida. It just takes up a whole side. But okay, let's see. I have a feeling I'm about to wear out my welcome. I'll get the words organized in my head before long. Yes. Senior moments. It's so hard to get all of this stuff into the camera frame. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I guess you'll find out when I find out, because I've got to upload this to the internet. So it's not like I'll be able to converse with you as I normally do, and I do apologize for that. As soon as enough money's come in from YouTube, I promise you the first thing I'm getting is a video, audio mixer where I can plug these cameras into. I mean, I got some jamming cameras. Zoom, Q2n 4K. I'm using the 720 on this. The 4K, I figured why. It's not going to increase the sound quality. If it's going to increase the sound quality, fine. I tried that one time. YouTube breaks it down into, I can put it at like 96-bit, you know, and YouTube, it don't care. It's going to end up as 16-bit audio. It's going to end up back 16-bit. That's just the way they do. So here we go. Come on, Lipper Pedal. You hear the difference in the sound between how the banjo sounded versus the guitar? The guitar sounds is just as tinny as the banjo does. And I apologize for that. Check, 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 check. Cut the looper and give you a taste of the banjo. Okay, now those of you who weren't around for yeah, New Year's, Happy New Year, and belated Christmas wishes as well. You didn't get my card? It was probably DeJoy. He's still the head of the Postal Service. I don't know what he had on Biden. Remember DeJoy? He's the reason all the mail takes longer to get here than what it used to. Okay, G scale. That's G. Oh, where does it go after? 2 octaves of G major. And that's all the scales I learned until I got that electric guitar almost 2 years ago. Then I learned what a pentatonic was, and I learned that if I'd have just taken the time with the banjo to do the same thing, all these fiddle tunes are nothing more, but it's a little bit. It'd be like playing jazz guitar. It's what banjo's like, playing jazz guitar. You have to be able to move around and make the notes work, make the scales work for you. And you spend a lot of time doubling up with fingers. You know, 2 fingers working together, because you can't hit the type notes that we banjo players hit. You're not going to hit 2 in succession without it sounding like, you know. You hear that? Hear that right? What that is my middle finger's on the 3rd, and my index finger's on the 3rd, my middle finger's on the 1st, and they're going.